You sense that something is fundamentally wrong with you, a feeling that lingers deep down. This unshakable sense of inadequacy is more common than you think. It may have nothing to do with your character. You may not realize it, but the way you think and behave is a product of your brain's unique wiring, and it matters more than you know. Research has identified 5 telltale signs that reveal patterns in human behavior, one of which can stop you cold in your tracks. If you have ever felt like you're constantly trying to solve puzzles with pieces that don't quite fit, or that your emotions are driven by automatic responses rather than conscious choice, you're not alone. Point 4 on this list is the most common reason people never reach their full potential, and it's not what they think it is. Stuck in neutral. You've likely experienced moments where your brain latches onto a negative comment, and the third time you reread a text looking for a tone that isn't there, you start to feel a nagging sense of self-doubt. Your brain is wired to seek out information that confirms your deepest fears. This is confirmation bias, one of the 12 psychology facts that explain 99% of human behavior, and it's a pattern that can be both fascinating and unsettling to acknowledge. As you reflect on your own thought patterns, you may start to notice how your brain selectively filters out positive feedback and instead fixates on a single criticism, making you wonder if there's something fundamentally wrong with you. And this is where the subtle yet powerful influence of confirmation bias can start to shape your perceptions. But here is where it gets intriguing. And point 2 is going to show you why. Manipulated by your mindset. Before we go further, and this is important, your brain is wired to absorb subtle manipulations. Is this happening? As you replay conversations in your head, the third time you reread a text looking for a tone that isn't there, you may be experiencing a form of gaslighting, a psychological tactic that can make you question your own perceptions. And this is precisely why understanding gaslighting is crucial to grasping the 12 psychology facts that explain 99% of human behavior, as it reveals how your brain can be influenced to doubt itself. You make a joke exactly when the conversation was about to mean something, deflecting from the true issue, and this deflection can be a coping mechanism for the unease that gaslighting creates. But here is where it gets darker, and point 3 is going to show you why. Trapped in the dark loop of desire. As we dive into the darkness, self-determination theory shines a light on why you feel this way. Your brain is wired to seek autonomy, competence, and relatedness. You crave feeling in control of your life, capable of achieving your goals, and connected to others. Think of the third time you reread a text looking for a tone that isn't there. Your brain is trying to make sense of the situation, to feel competent in understanding the other person. This is one of the 12 psychology facts that explain 99% of human behavior, and it's closely tied to your relationships. You might make a joke exactly when the conversation was about to mean something, avoiding intimacy. But here is where it gets tangled, and point 4 is going to show you why. The Mind Unraveled. This is the one I mentioned at the start, the insight that changes everything. The tangled web of thoughts and emotions we've been exploring leads directly to the spotlight effect, a fundamental concept among the 12 psychology facts that explain 99% of human behavior. You see, your brain has a tendency to overestimate the extent to which others notice your flaws, like the third time you reread a text looking for a tone that isn't there, or the fleeting moment when you make a joke exactly when the conversation was about to mean something. The spotlight effect convinces you that your every move is under scrutiny, fueling the internalized story that something is fundamentally wrong with you. But here is where it gets suffocating, and point 5 is going to show you why. Free from the lie. As we suffocate under the weight of our perceived inadequacies, the Dunning-Kruger effect quietly takes hold, influencing how you perceive your place within the 12 psychology facts that explain 99% of human behavior. Your brain is wired to recognize patterns, but sometimes this leads to overestimating your abilities in areas where you're actually underperforming. Consider the third time you reread a text looking for a tone that isn't there, and how that hypervigilance can be a symptom of the Dunning-Kruger effect in action. You may be misjudging your social interactions, overthinking every conversation, and yet your brain is capable of change. By acknowledging this effect, you can begin to make a subtle shift, recognizing the moments when your brain is distorting reality and gently correcting course, allowing you to reclaim a sense of agency over your thoughts and actions, and with that, a quiet sense of hope emerges. As you've just witnessed the mind-blowing truth about human behavior, acknowledge that you're now holding onto a more accurate understanding of yourself and your experiences. The fact that you watched this far tells me something about you. You're likely someone who craves clarity and isn't afraid to confront uncomfortable realities. Which of these 5 points hit you the hardest? The one about your past or the one about your relationships right now? Tell me in the comments. I read every single one. If this opened something for you, subscribe to Psychology 106. I post content like this every week.